You're listening to leadai.dev, your daily updates on AI development. Today's topic is Microsoft CISO framework, building trustworthy agentic AI systems in 2024. Here's a quick overview. Microsoft's Chief Information Security Officer unveils comprehensive framework for implementing secure agentic AI systems with built-in trust mechanisms and risk controls. Now, let's ask our analyst about these developments. What's new? Microsoft's CISO framework for trustworthy agentic AI.
Microsoft's Chief Information Security Officer has released comprehensive guidance for building trustworthy agentic AI systems, addressing critical security concerns as autonomous AI agents become mainstream in enterprise environments. The framework establishes security-first principles for organizations deploying AI agents that can operate independently, make decisions, and execute actions without constant human oversight. This guidance comes as enterprises increasingly adopt agentic AI for customer service, data analysis, and workflow automation, creating new attack vectors and compliance challenges. The framework introduces a four-pillar approach encompassing identity verification, behavioral monitoring, decision transparency, and fail-safe mechanisms. Organizations must implement continuous authentication for AI agents, ensuring each autonomous action traces back to verified identities and permissions. The behavioral monitoring component requires real-time analysis of agent decisions against established baselines, triggering alerts when agents deviate from expected patterns. Decision transparency mandates that all agent actions include audit trails showing reasoning pathways and data sources used. Unlike previous AI security guidance focused on traditional machine learning models, this framework specifically addresses the unique risks of autonomous agents that can modify their own behavior and interact with external systems. The guidance emphasizes that agentic AI systems require fundamentally different security architectures compared to static AI models, particularly around permission management and real-time oversight capabilities. Four-pillar security framework covering identity, monitoring, transparency, and fail-safes continuous authentication requirements for all autonomous AI agent actions, real-time behavioral analysis against established operational baselines, mandatory audit trails showing agent reasoning, and decision pathways, fail-safe mechanisms that halt agent operations when anomalies are detected.
Thank you for that analysis. Let's move on. Who benefits from Microsoft's agentic AI security framework?
Enterprise security teams managing AI deployments across customer service, financial operations, and data processing workflows gain immediate value from this framework. Organizations with 500 plus employees using AI agents for automated decision making, particularly in regulated industries like healthcare, finance, and government, need these security controls to maintain compliance. Security architects designing AI governance programs can use the framework as a foundation for policy development and technical implementation. CCOs evaluating agentic AI adoption risks benefit from Microsoft's practical approach to balancing innovation with security requirements. Mid-market companies deploying AI agents for sales automation, customer support, and internal operations can adapt the framework's core principles without requiring enterprise-scale security infrastructure. Development teams building custom agentic AI solutions gain specific technical requirements for security integration. IT operations teams responsible for monitoring AI systems can implement the behavioral analysis components using existing security information and event management (SIAM) platforms. Organizations still in early AI exploration phases should focus on understanding the framework's principles rather than immediate implementation. Companies using only basic AI tools without autonomous capabilities may find the framework's complexity unnecessary for current needs, though valuable for future planning. Enterprise security teams managing multi-departmental AI agent deployments, regulated industry organizations requiring compliance-ready AI governance, security architects developing comprehensive AI risk management programs, development teams building custom autonomous AI applications, IT operations teams integrating AI monitoring into existing security infrastructure.
Great insight. Really helpful context. How to get started. Implementing Microsoft's agentic AI security framework?
Begin implementation by conducting a comprehensive audit of existing AI agents across your organization, cataloging their current permissions, data access patterns, and integration points with business systems. Document each agent's decision-making scope and identify potential security gaps in authentication and monitoring. Establish baseline behavioral profiles for each agent type, recording normal operational patterns including data queries, system interactions, and decision frequencies. Configure identity and access management systems to support continuous authentication for AI agents, implementing token-based verification that validates agent identity before each significant action. Deploy monitoring infrastructure that can analyze agent behavior in real time, comparing current actions against established baselines and triggering alerts for anomalous patterns. Implement decision logging systems that capture agent reasoning pathways, data sources, and confidence levels for all automated decisions. Test fail-safe mechanisms by simulating various attack scenarios and verifying that agents properly halt operations when security thresholds are exceeded. Establish incident response procedures specifically for AI agent security events, including escalation paths and remediation steps. Create regular review processes for updating behavioral baselines as business requirements evolve. Audit existing AI agents and document current security posture gaps. Implement continuous authentication using token-based agent verification. Deploy real-time behavioral monitoring with baseline comparison capabilities. Configure comprehensive decision logging with reasoning pathway capture. Test fail-safe mechanisms through simulated security incident scenarios. Establish incident response procedures and escalation protocols.
That's a very interesting point. Tell us about competitive context. How Microsoft's framework changes AI security landscape.
Microsoft's framework provides more granular security controls compared to Google's AI principles and Amazon's responsible AI practices, which focus primarily on ethical considerations rather than technical security implementation. While Google emphasizes fairness and transparency in AI decision making, Microsoft's approach prioritizes real time threat detection and response capabilities. Amazon's AI governance tools concentrate on model bias and data privacy, but lack the comprehensive behavioral monitoring that Microsoft's framework requires for autonomous agents. The framework's emphasis on continuous authentication and fail-safe mechanisms addresses critical gaps in current enterprise AI security approaches. Most organizations rely on perimeter security and static access controls that cannot adapt to the dynamic nature of agentic AI systems. Microsoft's behavioral baseline approach enables proactive threat detection rather than reactive incident response, providing competitive advantages in AI risk management. However, the framework requires significant infrastructure investment and ongoing operational overhead that smaller organizations may struggle to implement. The real-time monitoring requirements demand substantial computing resources and specialized security expertise that may not be readily available across all market segments. More granular technical controls compared to Google's ethics-focused AI principles, proactive behavioral monitoring versus reactive security approaches from competitors, comprehensive fail-safe mechanisms addressing gaps in current market solutions, higher implementation complexity, and resource requirements than alternatives.
Good analysis. Let's continue. What's next? Future implications for agentic AI security standards?
Microsoft plans to integrate this framework into Azure AI services by Q2 2024, providing built-in security controls for customers deploying agentic AI through Microsoft's cloud platform. The company is developing automated compliance reporting tools that will generate audit documentation required by regulatory frameworks like SOX, HIPAA, and GDPR. Integration with Microsoft Sentinel will enable seamless incorporation of AI agent monitoring into existing security operations center workflows. Industry adoption of Microsoft's framework principles will likely influence emerging AI security standards from organizations like NIST and ISO, potentially establishing these approaches as baseline requirements for enterprise AI deployments. Regulatory bodies in the EU and US are evaluating similar frameworks for mandatory AI security controls in critical infrastructure sectors. The framework's success will depend on practical implementation experiences from early adopters and the development of simplified deployment tools for mid-market organizations. Microsoft's ability to demonstrate measurable risk reduction through framework adoption will determine broader industry acceptance and regulatory influence. Azure AI integration planned for Q2 2024 with built-in security controls, automated compliance reporting for SOX, HIPAA, and GDPR requirements. Microsoft Sentinel integration for security operations center workflows, potential influence on NIST and ISO AI security standard development.
Great analysis. So, what are the key takeaways from all of this?
Implement continuous authentication for all AI agent actions using token-based verification systems. Deploy real-time behavioral monitoring that compares agent actions against established operational baselines. Configure comprehensive audit trails capturing agent reasoning pathways and data sources for all decisions. Establish fail-safe mechanisms that automatically halt agent operations when security anomalies are detected.
And what market signals should our listeners watch for?
Enterprise AI security investment surge. Microsoft's framework release signals accelerating enterprise investment in AI security infrastructure as organizations recognize that traditional cybersecurity approaches cannot address autonomous agent risks. The framework's technical requirements suggest enterprises will need dedicated AI security teams and specialized monitoring tools, creating new market opportunities for security vendors. This shift indicates that AI security is transitioning from optional consideration to mandatory requirement for enterprise AI adoption, regulatory compliance preparation. The framework's emphasis on audit trails and behavioral monitoring reflects anticipation of stricter AI governance regulations in 2024 to 2025. Microsoft's proactive approach suggests that voluntary adoption of comprehensive AI security frameworks may become competitive advantages before regulatory mandates arrive. Organizations implementing these controls early will be better positioned for compliance when formal AI security regulations emerge in key markets. AI security vendor consolidation. Microsoft's integrated approach combining identity management, behavioral monitoring, and incident response creates pressure on standalone AI security vendors to offer comprehensive platforms rather than point solutions. The framework's complexity suggests that successful AI security implementations will require deep integration with existing enterprise security infrastructure, favoring established security vendors over specialized AI only companies.
What should developers and operators do with this information?
Audit existing AI agent deployments within 30 days to identify security gaps and compliance risks. Implement continuous authentication for all production AI agents by Q1 2024 and using token based verification. Deploy behavioral monitoring infrastructure for organizations with 10 plus AI agents in production environments. Establish AI specific incident response procedures for enterprises in regulated industries before expanding agent capabilities.
Thank you for listening to leadai.dev. Stay tuned for our next daily updates in this rapidly emerging market.